All right, it is almost to the end of the year. You can't change a whole lot when it comes to your finances, right? Well, wrong. We want to introduce you to Andrew Rafal. Rafal. I was close. President and founder of Bayntree Wealth Advisors, and he's talking to us about what you can do with your 401k, your taxes, beating federal deadlines. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Thanks for having me,
Well,
Scott.
our pleasure. Let's first talk about the 401k and maximizing your portfolio and things you need to do.
Wonderful. So in 2016, $18,000 is the max contribution that you can put in.
Right.
If you're over 50, it's going to be $24,000.
Okay.
Ultimately, if you can't invest that much, at least try to max and contribute enough so that you get the company match. So if your employer is matching, you want to get at least the amount that they're matching. Otherwise, you're giving away free money.
Yeah, you are. And it is pre-tax dollars, right?
That's correct.
Yeah. All right. Taking care of your retirement portfolio, you want to review and rebalance that. What do you, obviously I know what you mean with review, but rebalance, what do you mean by doing that?
Right. Well, we're in the stretch inning of a 7-year bull run. We've seen obviously some market volatility this year. Fed's going to be raising interest rates. So it's an ideal time to take a recap of where your current positions are and look out to not trying to beat the market, but looking at your goals and making sure that your asset allocation is aligned with your long-term financial objectives.
You want to be, I know it depends on individuals. Do you want to be in more stocks or bonds, or what do you want to do right now?
Really, it's going to depend on age and timeline. Ultimately, we can't predict the markets. If we've got the right balance based on where you are in your life, then ultimately we can weather storms, and we've got to be able to handle some volatility right now.
The stock market, the Dow's been down this week. Where do you see that going in the new year? Where do you? So I know what we hope, obviously.
Let me look in my crystal ball.
Yeah, I know.
And ultimately, you know, what we think is going to, the volatility is going to continue to stay. I think overall, with the pullback that we had, it's a healthy pullback. I think we just got to be very vigilant in our asset allocation and focus on really looking at the long-term goals of what each and every one of us have.
But you can't beat the market. I mean,
you can't beat the market, and that's why having a plan is so important.
What are RMDs?
Excellent. So required minimum distributions are set forth when an individual turns 70 and a half and they have pre-tax dollars in a retirement account. They are mandated to take out a certain amount each year, starting in that year. Certain deadlines, if they do not take that out by the end of the year, they'll get penalized 50% on the amount that they should have pulled out.
50%, that's
50%.
huge. Your Social Security benefit changes, what are those?
Yep. So in November, Congress passed a sweeping change to some popular Social Security filing strategies in the bipartisan budget bill. It actually shocked us that they did that. So ultimately, there's certain deadlines that you have to be aware of, especially if you're over 62. Ultimately, these deadlines will take place by May 1st, so it's important to understand your options and make sure that you don't miss out on some of these benefits. Obviously, if the government's taking it away from us that quickly, it must be a pretty good benefit, so it's important to know your options and not let some of these decisions fly by.
And I suppose you always want to check your beneficiary forms and things like that to make sure that that's all in order.
Correct. As we get to end of year, sometimes there's been marriages, there's divorce, there's passing. Making sure that your beneficiary form is up to date on life insurance, retirement accounts is so important, because if something does happen to you, the beneficiary form trumps your will and your trust. So if you have an ex-spouse or you've left your parent on as a beneficiary and you've gotten married, ultimately your spouse could be left out in the cold.
All right, that's not a good thing. Andrew, thank you so much.
It's been a pleasure.
Happy New Year to you. We always appreciate the advice. You're welcome back anytime.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Thank you.